Hey friends, it's John Klein III of episode 64 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast, and we are going to review New Mutants 19... I don't know what year this came out. But New Mutants Volume 1, Issue 72. So let's get to it. And once again, thank you to Francisco for providing the theme song to the podcast. Appreciate it. And you? And it'll be the 1983 volume. And it's Inferno, New Mutants. Guest starring the Exterminators. It would have cost you... Oh yeah, my copy is near mint, according to New Mile High Comics, most likely. And it would have cost you 125 cans and 50 pence. It was Comic Code Authority approved. The New Mutants are in the upper corner, and then Spider-Man's mask is in the bottom left corner box. And it says Nastir victorious, as he's choking the Dark Child from behind. As we get a little bunch of demon faces shown. And this issue takes place concurrently with Exterminators 4 that were reviewed. And this comic would have came out in February of 1989. Great movie year. And it's called Demon Reign. And we see the splash page is the stepping disc that Nasir convinced Magic or Darkchild to open up, and then demons are just pouring out. Writer Louise Simonson, penciler Brett Blevins, inker Al Williamson, letterer Joe Rosen, colorist Glynis Oliver, editor Bob Harris, and editor-in-chief Tom DeFago. It wasn't that Ilyana was vain. Beauty was as natural to her as breathing. She had always been beautiful, like a perfect pastel present just begging to be opened, but she liked it. Anyway, when her looks took people's breath away, it almost made her forget what she was inside. It's just sad. Like, this is a very sad Ilyana issue, as we're amping up. And so she's yelling at Nasir with her soul sword in hand, but she's all in red, as Nasir is all in green. And she's upset that she was tricked into using the stepping disc. He's saying that he held up his promise. All of her friends are on Earth. Maybe not the Earth she's used to, but or the way it was when they first got here. And which, too, a little framing, like, they were just in space like 12 hours ago, and now they are here on Earth with hordes of Inferno behind them. Or amongst them. So this is a recap. Mere hours ago, Ilyana and her teammates, the New Mutants, were trapped in the eldritch dimension called Limbo. There, of her own free will, Ilyana offered herself the petty pastel present to a demon, and in exchange, he showed her the way home. The demon shredded and tore the pretty package as demons will, and inside, surprise, just worms and dust, a soul that was nearly dead. But that was fine with him, since demons like dead things best. And so they just keep pretty much yelling at each other. And then the demons are saying that they love her the way she is. And then Sim comes down because he's upset with how things are playing out. So then Sim grabs the Dark Child, but Nasir tosses the Dark Child away because he wants her as well. And then starts the demon boss fight as Sim and Nasir start fighting each other. They fight for possession of the Dark Child and of her world. And then we pretty much get to see what she did during the whole Exterminators and New Mutants are up in the sky, and we just lost track of her on one page. How did she become this cringing monster, this wretched symbol? A jewel in the crown of conquest, to be worn or tossed away, a possession, a trophy, a thing. And we see the New Mutants are, they lost track of her, but they do see up in the sky, the pentagram, and figure they should do something up there as they see some planes and some demons. Anyway, find out in Exterminators 4, Bob. Meanwhile, while mere blocks away, and Darkchild is in front of a restaurant, a diner, and the diner chef just grabs her by the tail and like yanks her through the window and tosses her around. And he's very human-like, but I guess he's just gone bonkers. But it's like, don't grab her by the tail. Come on, some dignity. And then all the, and it's Inferno, so all the inanimate objects are now demon infested, as well as there's just demons about. And they're calling her a monster. And Ileana's thinking about how she's calling the demons monsters, but now she's recognizing that she's a monster as well. And we get a sad panel where she thinks to herself, I'm the one who should die. And it's like, oh, Ileana. She's in her dark age moment. Times Square, and the New Mutants are now reunited, the Exterminators. And we're not reunited, but we're seeing them together. And they're fighting the flying demons. And then we get to the See No Evil pet shop. And Ileana, or the Darkchild, has come through another stepping disc and is into a pet shop. So she's just on the run, trying to just catch her breath, but also can't stay in any place for too long. Then all the animals become demonic. They start coming at her. She has keep pushing them away. She starts putting. They start overwhelming her, and somehow put her in a cage herself. And it's a very it's a bird cage essentially that squeezes an 18-year-old woman into it. So it's very indignified, and she's just feeling like maybe she should be locked up. High overhead, demons swarm as the New Mutants rush to free infants locked in a mystic spell. And so they're figuring out how to get the babies. And they get quite a few of them. While far below. And so now the Darkchild has found her way to a wedding store. And this chair has grabbed her and trying to hold her back. With its arms. It's like an evil version of Cherry. And the arms of the chair are wrapped around her. And then, since it's a wheelchair, a chair with wheels, it starts spinning around, making her get very dizzy. While high above, and they got 6 babies rescued, 7 babies rescued. And then Nasir is recognizing that he's getting weaker as babies are being rescued. And then while thinking about being weakened, Sim comes and punches him in the head. And now they're just bickering again. And so moments later, 10 babies, alive and well, are sleeping off the strain of their cosmic ordeal. But for the New Mutants, the ordeal is about to begin. And now they're wondering where Ileana is as the Exterminators separate. Because their fight's done. But the New Mutants battle has yet to begin. Pretty much just reciting how that caption box perfectly worded it. See, here's the issues also on sale. Wolverine 4, New Mutants 72, Alpha Flight 67, Daredevil 263, Excalibur 5, because we're going to get closer to Excalibur being involved in this, which is going to be super exciting. Web of Spider-Man 47, Marvel Comics Presents 12, West Coast Avengers 41, Punisher War Journal 3, Solo Avengers 15, Amazing Spider-Man 312, Captain America 350, Marvel Age Magazine 71, Incredible Hulk 352, Marvel Tales 220, Conan 215, G.I. Joe 83, Punisher 16, Silver Surfer 20, Uncanny X-Men 241, Marvel Comics Presents 13, Justice 28, Saga the Submariner 4, The Avengers 300, which we reviewed, Marvel Fanfare 42, Fantastic Four 323, Iron Man 239, Speedball 6, Spectacular Spider-Man 147, Transformers 49, X Factor 37, Classic X-Men 30, Cloak and Dagger 3, G.I. Joe European Mission 6, The Nom 27, and Thor 400. And then Sun and Estier has, and in Exterminators, Nasir has taken some of the techno-organic virus from Sim, but in this comic he just all of a sudden has it, so he's all in red now. And he does explain, the explosion would have destroyed me, save for the transmode virus. So he's all red, and then now he's next to the Dark Child, who is also all red. So, it's a little bit much for the eyes. She has stabbed the chair holding her with a sword, thus killing it essentially, and all the demons are sort of torn, but also love it, because she's taking control of her sword, or her powers, and her position. And one of them goes like, "Why are you kill chair when it works such miracles?" And then Darkchild just passes the mirror and goes, "What? No!" As she sees her reflection, and she is very demonic, to the point where she has scales. "That can't be me." "Ah, but it is. I felt you shed blood. You've chosen to join me. In my new order, they do." "Blood? Ha! Chairs don't bleed." "Oh, in my new order they do." I misread that. "You said if I took back the sword, I would regain control of the stepping disc. You teleported me into tests after another until I finally failed. I could do so only because..." Oh. Man, that would be a fun time. Oh, no, they did try to give him a little difference of a word balloon. "I could do so only because you still reject the power you possess. Fight what you've become. Clear your struggles." And he's holding her arms, face against face, and it's just a bunch of red. "Give me the sword. I am strong. Lean on me. Again, I offer you the chance to rule as my dark bride. I tried so hard to choose the right path. Learn from this, my lovely Dark Child, that in Limbo there was never a right path. All paths there, even the right paths, led to greater evil." And then we see her scales, were not really scales, but cracks, as all of a sudden her Dark Child persona breaks away, and we see her in her full armor. So not just covering her one arm or a leg, always a opposite arm and leg, but she has full on silver armor up and just slices him in half. "Later then, my Dark Child, you've accepted your power at last." Oh yeah, and then he just reforms himself. "I did not say that our union would be your choice. Perhaps the experience of Sim's warm embrace will convince you to think more fondly of me." And then he just fades away. And Ilyonus is on the ground, still armored up, but just collapsed. "I'm a monster, as much a monster as he is. Worse, he's as he was created to be. I was born human. I'm going mad. Someone please help me." And then we see Sims just smoking his cigar while standing behind her. Next issue, Colossus joins the New Mutants in the climactic shell game. You do not dare miss it. And I did that comic a little faster than I was expecting, but a lot of it was in Exterminators, so I didn't want to repeat too much. And then Ilyana is just having crisis of faith. So I mean, and it's a great issue. Like I feel like when I read these, like the new, I think it was this Exterminators that threw me off. Like everything else was fine, and maybe I was a little confused by why she was so Dark Child at the time. I was like, when did it? Like, and it. So the next issue is going to be Uncanny 241, which I bought special for this as I was missing 2 issues, and so I haven't read that yet. I will read it, of course, before recording. And then I should say how I've read Uncanny Spider-Man issue 1, and no Cape Pride or magic in there, which makes sense. But Spider-Man shows up. So it was a pretty good issue, except for this like ghost spam, and I'm like, I bet that's a holdover from his solo series. But I have lots of thoughts about his tail, and it looked like in the comic Peter Parker also had thoughts about his tail, which was fun. Because Uncanny Spider-Man is, of course, Nightcrawler. And then there was Director Vulture, Silver Sable. Second issue promises to have Rhino in there, so I do like how he's a Spider-Man fighting Spider-Man people, so that's cool. And Mystique showed up as well, so that's exciting to see. Because, I mean, I figured she wasn't dead after the Hellfire Gala, but and so it's just good to see that she's back. So a lot of promise of that series. And then what else did I read? I read Uncanny Avengers 2. No Shadow Kate appearances there either. So I think we're just gonna maybe finally finish our Secret War or Secret Invasion event. So that'd be nice to finally get behind us. There's still Dark X-Men 2 to read, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it. There's a bunch of New York Comic Con news that came out. Apparently the Fall of X stands for Fall of the House of Xavier. And then there's going to be a Rise of X, so very exciting. Exciting. And Magneto is supposed to be coming back. Trying to think of what else. And then they also hinted before about a new X-Men title coming, which had the Age of Apocalypse font. So 2024 should be an exciting time. Trying to think of what else I've read, but I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much everyone for listening. If you would subscribe and tell a friend to subscribe and listen to the podcast, I really appreciate it as we try to make it grow. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Jackal SII. You can follow the podcast at Twitter and Instagram at SNFWM. I do have some Blue Sky codes. I'm tempted to give one to the podcast, but I know I'm tempted to also keep one, but I have like 4 codes, so I feel like I could, throw one my own way, but I don't know, I'm debating about it. But if you want a code, feel free to DM me, and I will send you one as long as I still have them to share. So that's what next week's schedule looks like. Last Secret Invasion and Uncanny X-Men 241. So that should be pretty exciting, unless something in Dark X-Men shows up. And I'll talk to you next time. Alright, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.